Season so far for the Seahawks. Russ is fired up. He wants more protection. He wants a bigger say in decisions. He wants to be heard. I get it. Who doesn't? For whatever reason, we haven't heard from Seattle in all this, except that they're reportedly not happy with how Russ is handling things. Brandon, do the Seahawks have a right to be upset with Russell Wilson?
No. Why would they get upset? It's business. A player signs a contract, 4 for $40 million, 5 for this, and then all of a sudden they get hurt. A player have a bad game, have a bad couple games, and all of a sudden the team says, hey, can we sit at the table? Can we rethink this? We want you to take a pay cut. Or if you don't take this pay cut, we're going to cut you. So, no, they can't get mad, right? Because players don't get mad when we sign a contract and you ask us to, take a pay cut when we still have 2-3 years left. So, Nick, no, absolutely, the Seattle Seahawks can't get mad. But then when you look at this, man, I just don't understand how they got to this point, Nick. Let's go back to 2011. Matt Flynn. Aaron Rodgers goes down. Aaron Rodgers get hurt. Matt Flynn comes in. Matt Flynn plays great. What happened in 2012? He's the most sought-after free agent at the quarterback position. Seattle Seahawks. They signed Matt Flynn to a 3-year, $26 million deal. Russell Wilson, they draft him in the 3rd round. Matt Flynn's their guy. Pete Carroll goes out to the practice field. He sees this dude, number 3, running around, said, oh, my goodness, could he be the guy? Did we just waste $26 million? He doubled down on what he thought, his gut, and went with Russell Wilson. But what happened that year? There was a 2-game stretch where Russell Wilson threw 5 interceptions. Pete Carroll heard the rumblings in the locker room, all the guys getting on the plane. Oh, my goodness, we need a veteran presence. We need that Matt Flynn in there. This is what you brought him here for. What did Pete Carroll do? He shut off the noise. He said, no, I'm doubling down. This is my guy. This is who I'm going with. Russell Wilson ended up leading them to 11-5 record, leading them to a win in the wild card game. And then the next game, going in the divisional round, he lost to Atlanta Falcons. Okay, great job. Great start for Russell Wilson, these Seattle Seahawks. The following year, 2013, Russell Wilson leads you to your first Super Bowl. You went with your gut. You doubled down on this guy, even though he went through a bad stretch. Why aren't you doing that now when this dude is stepping into his prime, where the game is slowing down? I just don't understand, Nick, how we got to this point when you saw something great in this kid when nobody else saw it, when everybody else passed him 2 times. So I just don't understand what's going on in Seattle.
So a couple of things to build off what Brandon said. The first point about the player's contract not being honored. Ask Kyle Van Noy how good a contract is. You go to Miami, you sign a big guaranteed money deal, you play 1 year, see you later, buddy. You won't take a pay cut, we'll cut you. So that's why I nearly always support the players when they finally have some leverage and they want to turn it on their head. One of the other things Brandon didn't mention, that first year, when they lost to Atlanta, go to Pro Football Reference, as I know so many of you like to, and look at the second-half box score of Russell Wilson's playoff game in Atlanta, his rookie season. When the defense hadn't played well in the first half, I think it was 20-3 at halftime. It might have been 21-3. Whatever it was, they unleashed Russ in the second half after not wanting to do that all year. He led them all the way back, I think 28 second-half points to a lead, and then they lost on a last-second Matt Bryant field goal. He's always had this special ability, and even from his rookie season and now, Pete Carroll has been hesitant to let him unleash that ability unless it's break glass in case of emergency, even though he showed you that from day one. So do the Seahawks have a right to be upset? No. Do they have a right to be annoyed? Sure. Should they keep it to themselves? You're damn straight. Because here's the thing, Wilds, the Seahawks have 2 eras, pre-Russ and Russ. The pre-Russ era, you had a little fun with Sean Alexander. There was something called a Chuck Knox era, according to Wikipedia, and it was mediocrity. 36 seasons, 8 playoff wins, 1 Super Bowl appearance. In a quarter of that time, 9 seasons, you have more playoff wins, you have double the Super Bowl appearances, and you have the only championship in the history of your franchise. So guess what? This is like when our guy Keta used to work, our producer Keta used to, I think you did too, Wilds. You guys worked on a very successful television show that was based around one solitary person, And I hear that person might have been hard to work with at times. I'm sure you got annoyed at times. You kept it to your damn self because he was the whole operation. That's what the Seahawks need to be doing. Keep it to themselves and make him happy because he is the entire operation, Wilds. I don't know why this is complicated or confusing for them.
But no, I disagree with that, Nick. And if we can, I don't know, Titanic, if you can throw up that graphic again. I know you're saying that it's the Russ era. I think a lot of people would consider that the Legion of Boom era, right? Like, I don't think, like, I know this, I just don't know if people consider that the Russ era. They had the #1 defense. And I think people will look back at that a little bit like, is that crazy, Brandon? I consider that the Legion of Boom era. And I know Russ is there, but I view that as like an all-time great defense. A defense with a nickname is always near and dear to my heart.
Right.
I don't consider that the Russ era first and foremost. I consider that the Legion of Boom era. You think I'm wrong in that?
No, I mean, no. Great point. It is the Legion of Boom era, but, you know, I go back to 2012. I was playing for the Chicago Bears. That was my first year in Chicago. Actually, my first year in Chicago. That was Russell's rookie year. We go out there in pregame. I meet Richard Sherman at the 50-yard line. Me and Richard Sherman is about to fight before the game, just getting after it. The dude went and go to his side of the field, and I was like, bro, go on your side of the field. This is where the Bears warm up. Who had to separate us? Pete Carroll came over and said, come on, Brandon. Come on, Richard. Handle that in between the lines. We broke it up. Anyways, we get into that game. This is the year where our defense was scoring 2 or 3 touchdowns a game. It was phenomenal seeing what Brian Urlacher was doing and Charles Peanut Tillman and Julius Peppers and Izzy. And I can go on how Tim Jennings, what they were doing on that side. Yep. But what ended up happening was Russell Wilson came out there and lit it up. And I said, man, we just lost to a rookie. So, yes, that defense was phenomenal. That defense was good. I actually went for like 165 yards that game, but we're not going to talk about that. But Russell Wilson was the reason why they won that game.
That's right. And Brandon, by the way, that defense was awesome. And Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman and Brandon Browner and Bobby Wagner, we know who they are. They had Cliff Averill at the time. That's great. Your Chicago Bears had a great defense and couldn't do nothing because you didn't have the quarterback. Remember the Jags of 2017? Jalen Ramsey and Calais Campbell and all those guys. Guess what? They got the AFC title game. But that Jags team, so I agree, Wilds, that obviously, especially when Russ was on his rookie contract, they had a great team around him. And we're not even mentioning Marshawn Lynch. But there's a lot of teams that have had great defenses, Jenna, and a really good running back, and their quarterback held them back. Brandon was on a number of those teams where you had everything but the quarterback, and because of that, you have a ceiling. So that's why I would call that the Russell Wilson era, Jenna.
I love Brandon Marshall's story time. Always ends with, and here's what I did. Just on a side. Time for Nick's NBA medals. We love it. The Beard played well in his return to Houston. 29 points, a couple of boos, but 29 points as part of a triple-double in a winning effort. Just missed a medal, though. Nick, who you got today?
Well, we're going to start T.J. McConnell. I don't know who was watching, but how about a triple-double with steals? You don't see that. Now, it came against the Cavs, but still, he led them to a win. He didn't miss a single shot, and he had 10 steals. T.J. McConnell with his first, and I'm going to go ahead and declare this assuredly only medal of his life, T.J. McConnell. Silver medal. Colin Cowherd compared me to Zach LaVine yesterday. Thank you, Colin. He's an all-star. He went 36-8 in a win over the Pelicans. He was insulting me when he did it, but I'll take it as a nice thing. But some people also say Zach LaVine and I look alike. Zach LaVine, 36-8 in a win over the Pelicans. Pelicans got to figure out how to use Zion all 4 quarters. Bonus take. Gold medalist. Brandon Marshall won't give this man his respect. I will. Joel Embiid. 40 points. Step back 3, right in Boyan's eyes on a broken possession. Then they win in overtime. The Stifle Tower. Oh, give me a foul call. Oh, nobody likes the Jazz. Oh, I was flopping around. Trying to block a shot, Gobert, instead of having Embiid go for 40. Brandon, the hell are you looking at? I'm giving your guy love. What's going on?
Selfies.
Oh, I was just going over my notes. Embiid, 64% true shooting, is pacing to be the best of any player to average 30 and 10 in NBA history. Oh, is he not the best player on the planet? Wow.
He's not, but he did get a gold medal last night.
He certainly was last night. Wilds, who just missed the cut?
Oh, just missed the cut. You know, Garnett made this famous. Get out of here, Steph! It didn't count, but it should. No free ones. I don't care if it's after the whistle or not. Congratulations, Steph Curry. Missed the cut. You don't give out medals with outside of gameplay, but fantastic. And he celebrates.
That's awesome.
That's really good.
All right. Let's get back to football. Which team will Deshaun Watson end up playing for next season? Guys, make their picks. It's next. First things first.
Not Houston. Not Houston, Jenna.